is your favorite CEO, Miss Flo, back with another episode of Neon Mike, where the conversation just glows. I am back in the Plus Ultra studio down at the National Harbor, and my special guest today is Greg, the founder and CEO of STEM Bytes. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me here. It's first of all, the studio is gorgeous.
Yeah, isn't it? It's like
the most gorgeous.
I love bringing people here, especially those that are so tied into the nerd community, especially the blur community.
Yes,
because they
absolutely.
did build it for us. They kept this in mind. Like, if you haven't been here, there is a space for musicians. There's a recording studio. If you're a photographer and need to do photo shoots, there is a space for you. If you are an avid gamer and you wish to compete in tournaments, they have tournaments, I think, every Tuesday? I think it's like every Tuesday they have like a different video game tournament. Like, there's something for everybody in this nerd space. So if you have a chance to come down to the National Harbor, especially, con weekends, they always throw after parties for the local cons.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you haven't been to a Plus Ultra event, you're truly missing out. So please make sure that you follow them on Instagram and come through, because you would have a ball.
Yeah,
honestly.
Me being a nonprofit executive director, this is what I would envision my space to look like, at least the relaxation rooms. So it's really nice to see what they're doing to make people feel more comfortable, especially in spaces where, years and years ago, I think we can all agree, like, it wasn't as welcome or opening for people, to be into anime, video games, things like that. It just wasn't as much of a welcoming space. So seeing that they're doing that, it's providing more comfort for people. I think that's what we need right now.
Oh, absolutely. I think that with everything that's happening in the world, we just need a space for us and just kind of block out a lot of the drama, a lot of the politics that work against us, and just like have a place to decompress and actually be with your own community.
Yeah.
So like, I do appreciate them for that. And after taking a tour of the space, do you think that you would bring your nonprofit STEM Bytes here, bring your students?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's something that the students, they need to see. I am a proctor for the video game club at the Matha as well. And, the students, they're just super energetic. They love the video games. They love that kind of culture. And now that's more accepted. I think bringing them to something like this to let them, really just kind of bask in it and bathe in the glory of, all that's nerdy, I think it would really help them out in their own personal lives as well.
No, I get it. And I could attest to that, because a lot of my mentees who helped me with my publication, I have brought them here. They have a ball. They love the space. They love communicating with a lot of the other nerds. Like, okay, even though I'm out of high school, where it wasn't like this for them. It was just it was like a niche within a niche, and they couldn't have open conversations about their favorite manga, anime, video game. So it's like, okay, they see the space for us, and now it's just like the doors have opened immensely. So yeah, like, if you're an educator or if you run any youth program, because they have an anime club at one of the PG County schools.
Yeah.
So I would say like Plus Ultra would be a great partner with our youth, and I think that's something we definitely need right now. But speaking of youth, your program does provide resources. Are you just working with HBCUs, like colleges, or are you also in high schools?
So we're actually also in high school. Just to kind of introduce myself again, I'm Craig. I am the executive director for STEM Byte. Thank you again for having me. It's really a pleasure. What my nonprofit does, we work with high schools, HBCUs, other colleges, universities. It doesn't have to just be HBCUs. We also work with communities and hospitals, clinics, whoever needs the assistance that we can provide for them. We just finished recently announcing and launching our STEM Byte summer internship program. So it's our first internship program. We're working with high school students, about 4 of them. And we're partnering with VCU and another college over in the Richmond, Virginia area. And it's just really amazing. We're really excited to get it started. It starts June 8th. And our big plan for this particular program is just to introduce kids and push them further into the biomedical and biotech fields. What we are seeing is that there's not a lot of interest into the biotech fields and STEM fields in general. And what we want to do is we want to introduce them and show them like, hey, you don't have to just, feel like you're tunnel vision towards one path. Sometimes you'll get introduced to another area of work that really, brings out the best of you. And I think, showing some of these kids, or all the kids that we're working with right now for the internship program, they're actually going to biomedical. So what we're doing is we're amplifying and we're giving them extra resources so that they know what they're getting into, one, and then two, so that they can experience it for themselves as well. And I think it's really important what it's, the energy that it's bringing for the students. So, yeah.
No, I actually love that because I feel like with my high school, we push to and through college, right? But we don't necessarily talk about all the career options that's there for them. When people think of STEM, it's either like cybersecurity or like actually engineering. But we don't really talk about like bioengineering, like for somebody that's not familiar with it, like what does that entail? Like,
So with bioengineers, it's it's a very, how can I say, very complex field because with bioengineering, you're looking at people who are working with either nuclear reactors or things that are just really, you're mixing engineering and biology. I mean, that's the best way for me to put it. Bioengineers, they've helped create a lot of the technology that we work on now, or we work with now, whether it's AI or whatever we need to help amplify and advance biomedical support for patients, and as well as help advance and push forward just biology, ecology, things around the area as well. So bioengineers, they wear numerous hats depending on their specialty, and then they're everywhere. Everywhere in the grass, I'm pretty sure turf was probably made by a bioengineer. So we see it everywhere. So it's very interesting.
okay, so it's like, well, I'm trying to like wrap my hand around it because I was like more, I'm a criminal justice major, so mine's like more behavioral. But with like for bioengineering, with trying to immerse it, okay, well, I would say why is it important for especially Black students to get involved with it?
Yeah. I worked as a director for a cancer research facility for a little bit. And one of the first things I saw over there was that there wasn't enough representation. I went over to Germany, beautiful, gorgeous country. But that's what you expect. You don't see a lot of Black people over in Germany. I had that opportunity to be a director for an amazing company, and it was life-changing for me. But also, it opened my eyes in a lot of different ways. One, the access that I had to a lot of high-level areas in terms of the biotech field, the bioengineering, the biomedical field. What you're exposed to as a Black man is very, very eye-opening. But also, it shows you that hey, there's not enough representation, not enough minorities who are working in this area. We need more representation. We need to show them that hey, we're all here. We're all good. We all want to advance biomedical and biotechnology. And that company that I worked for really gave me that boost that I needed to be confident in myself, because I became a director at 26.
Oh.
And that's kind of unheard of for that kind of field. And my boss, her name was Dr. Ika. She gave me that opportunity to work, and then I've worked with Dr. Runa Magosh, who was also my boss, and then Katarina Krohn, and they gave me that opportunity to essentially spread my wings, and I was very thankful for that. So.
Oh, you're so accomplished, like to be able to do it at such like a young age.
Yeah.
But like I do understand that because I feel like whether it's in medicine or engineering, having a Black perspective on some issues is very much needed. For centuries, certain things that affect African Americans are kind of like left out
Yes.
of the conversation. So I do agree that representation is needed in all fields so that we are not left out of the conversation.
That's right.
So thank you for that, like so much. And your organization also tackles cybersecurity. You provide cybersecurity services to a lot of programs and a lot of businesses. Why is that important for those businesses to have cybersecurity?
Right. I think right now we're in an era where with AI technology and everything of the sort, a cyber attack is a lot more dangerous than we think it is. With our director for cybersecurity, Dr. Terrell Hall, he has his PhD in cybersecurity management, and he talks about this all the time with students. He'll talk about like, okay, it's not just about just clicking on random links anymore on your phone and giving you a virus. It's small things. There are data breaches, and what do these data breaches mean for you? Where I have a friend. They had a data breach. I forgot the name of the bank, but they actually for social security number, they were trying to take out a credit card. Thankfully, that bank had more securities in place, but this is the kind of things that we have to deal with when we're dealing or when we're looking at technology in general. So by luck and chance, we're also pushing forward with cybersecurity, or not luck and chances, honestly, by great preparation, we're pushing forward with cybersecurity as well, where you have people who are working on the infrastructure, people who are managing the oversight, and it's just a lot of different fields. And cybersecurity, if we don't have that, then we're lost. We don't want to lose America to a cyber attack, essentially, or any part of America to a cyber attack. So yeah.
No, I get that because I think people forget during the election, Russia got involved and they interfered. Because what is it the electronic votes? So it's I felt like that was the big eye opener to see okay, the war isn't just on a physical battlefield. It's if an enemy is able to control one of our power plants, get a hold of nuclear weapons, because everything is computerized.
Yes.
So it's just we more than ever now, it's we have to be very cautious. And so with your training and the services that you provide, do you also provide just tips in general? Because at our job, we had to do the little cybersecurity training, don't click the link,
Yes.
you know what I mean? That, don't get me started on the training, because it's just everything was all of the above, all of the above, all of the... So, what does your training look like for the employees that work for the company, so they could make sure that they don't cause a cyber leak or a cyber attack?
I think what we have is our chief data officer Nigel Ritchie and our cybersecurity director Terrell Hall. Thankfully, they're fully able to manage the data, the look for that. But they talk about, we had a conversation. We're a small team still, but we had a conversation about how to keep everything that we have secure. So it's a matter of two-factor authenticators, or somebody who's managing a lot of this data by themselves, making sure that they have the backup that they need as well. It's not just about, it is, of course, all of the aboves and stuff like that, but it's also a matter of what does each of these line items mean? We have to do a deep dive. And what Dr. Hall has done for us and with the students that we've worked with at RVA Teen Summit or ImmerseCon is he's done a deeper dive into this. He's like, okay, well, what does phishing mean? Okay, well, phishing is not just, reeling something in. It's also how are they able to basically get your data? And by giving people the full breakdown of what each item is, it helps us understand exactly what we're looking at on our day-to-day basis. A spam call doesn't just look like a spam call anymore. Sometimes we'll get spam calls, answer, and I'm pretty sure they're either A, recording our voice to try and do voice recognition for something else, or B, we call them or they're calling us, sorry, and on the other side there's nobody there to pick up. So how they have things set up overseas for spam calls and taking money from elderly people or people who are just not educated in this manner, it's very complex, and they do it so that it's just that 1% chance, right, that they catch one person. And I'm pretty sure we've all seen videos or heard stories of people losing all of their savings. Older folks, grandparents, aunts, mothers, fathers, they lose all their savings to scams like this. And so with cybersecurity, it's just blocking this from happening, keeping that generational wealth both in a form of financially and in terms of emotional and mental security. And I think that's very important for us.
No, I get that. So none of you should be offended if I don't recognize the number and I don't answer. I just wanted to I'm being safe and protecting my earnings. So just it was why didn't you pick up? Just text me, just DM me, and just understand it's it's for safety. And like, I'm glad you mentioned that, because like we don't really think about like just answering a call alone like makes you vulnerable, and that's insane. And I have like an elderly parent. She's not the most tech savvy at all, and of course she may like have to pick up because she doesn't know if somebody got a new number,
Right.
or it's like a relative that just trying to get in touch with something. So I'm just like, Mom, don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she was like, she'll let it go to answer machine, and kind of like that was her way of screening.
Right.
But I'm like, so it's no shade. It's just I'm being safe.
Yeah. I think that's very important. Being safe is the best thing to do, and it's something that I've talked to my mom about as well, and my father as well. And even with the students, and but the students are usually smart with that. But we've worked with older folks as well, and who are just not as tech savvy. We'll probably see another big shift in terms of what spam and scamming is in the next 30 years, when because this next generation that's after us, they're tech savvy. Very much so tech savvy that they can't put their phones down. So there's going to be another scam, and just making sure that cybersecurity or whoever is going to be in charge of that area is up to date. So cybersecurity is always constantly evolving. Data analysis is always constantly evolving. Everything's always constantly evolving. With a lot of fields in STEM, there's no field that truly stays the same throughout all of life. Even with biotechnology, I've seen it advance enough as well for myself. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like everything is just moving so fast, and lawmakers are not really keeping up in terms of like what is considered illegal, or the fact like you said, it could be somebody from another country that's calling up mom and pop. But it's like, how do you prosecute somebody from another country?
Right.
So it's just like, if we take on the preventative measures ourselves, then it just saves so like the whole hassle and the drama of it. So like, do you do the workshops? Like, well, how do you do the workshops? Like, how do we get how do I get my mom to sign up so she'd be more aware?
We're working on a workshop for both cybersecurity and data analysis, as well as biotech. We'd like to launch that at the end of the summer internship. For everybody else, we are launching a tutoring. We're launching a lot, essentially. Once the workshop is up and operational, we're going to be all over everybody's pages, we hope. And then, of course, once we have that up and operational, probably in the first half of September, you just go to stembyte.org, put in your email information, and you're signed right up. And it's probably going to be a free service as well.
Oh, well, thank you for that. Because, times is really rough right now.
Yes.
And, this is information that the people need, because, everybody is desperate. So I feel like there's going to be a lot more scammers out there that's really going to try to pull a big one. And everybody is not really in a place to lose the savings that they have.
Yes,
Jobs are very scarce right now. So thank you for providing that free service, and I hope, Mom, you get signed up immediately, because I need to make sure that you're good. I'm pretty tech savvy myself, but there are even some things that I need to, put myself on. I just learned, how the different ways of spam calling could, ruin my whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, again, thank you for, really putting this on. So, how did you start STEM Bytes? How did this all become about?
Okay, so let me see. 2024, it was I think it was March or April. I sat down at home, and I was with my partner, and I was like, hey, I don't feel fulfilled, and I see that there's a lot of pain going on in our community. I was like, I really want to give back to my community in a substantial way. So scratched my head. I was like, okay, I can do consulting businesses. I was like, no, well, usually we're not funded as well in most cases. I was like, so let's not do consulting. Let's do a nonprofit where we can actually push ourselves into these ecosystems and add on to the ecosystems that are already placed. And I think that's what we wanted. That's what I wanted to do. And so I called in a bunch of my friends, the ones that I trusted, the ones that were masters in their own general area. And I said, hey, here's where we're starting from. We went through logos, we went through different names, and we were able to really lock down everything in September of 2024. So we had our logo, We had every document that was necessary. We became a 501c3 in September, and actually it was through a friend that I got my first event with ImmerseCon in Richmond, Virginia. And that event, it changed everything that I saw for nonprofit. So I always tell him like thank you, and because he really did help us get into a space where we were unsure of at first because we didn't know how we were going to integrate. We didn't know what we were going to do. We were doing phone calls. I had meetings at my alma mater, Coppin State University, great school by the way, down in West Baltimore, and we've done a lot of work. But it was truly our breakthrough was ImmerseCon, and shouts out to ImmerseCon over in Richmond, Virginia, Daniel Hurt and Daniel Moore. Or Jeremy Moore, sorry. They've really helped us as well. And we worked with kids. We were doing cosplay. We were working with kids. We did a Pokemon Center theme game, and the kids, they ate it up. Like, it was really good. So I think it was just when we're working with nonprofits or any business in general, it's having people to support you. Another thing my father would always tell me is like, even if you're not working or you're not actively making money for something, he's like, you always have to be prepared for when the opportunity arises. And that's what we had to be. When ImmerseCon called us, we could have said like, oh no, we're not ready. No, we took on the challenge. We were ready. We were very much so eager. We're working with ImmerseCon again this year, and we're ready to go. And I think this is just going to be something that we can continue to do and continue to look forward to for years to come, because the ImmerseCon is a beautiful convention, and my team is an amazing team, and we're going to continue growing. We did RVA Teen Summit, and we had a couple of different meetings down in Baltimore, a couple of different events, and we have to keep on going nonstop. We're always going to continue moving forward because we're not just doing this for us. We're not doing this for us at all. We're doing it for the next generation, for people who are not spoken for people who don't have enough funding. And when we're doing this, when we see the smiles, that is honestly a good payday for me. So, that's what I like.
No, that's so beautiful. So when is the next ImmerseCon? When and where? When is it coming?
So ImmerseCon this year is going to be July 11th to July 12th. It's in Richmond, Virginia at the Richmond Convention Center. Beautiful area. If you guys or anybody has an opportunity to go get these tickets, immersecon.com. Get some tickets. Come swing by the career development area. My team's going to be managing that, and play some video games with us, right? I'm developing a video game for ImmerseCon to showcase to the kids. And I'm tying in this video game with biotech and digital pathology that will help, just really introduce them to this world of technology that they really need to see. Video games doesn't just have to, just be all fun. It can also be educational and fun, right? And I'm not talking about like, Leapfrog. No offense to Leapfrog, but
I was gonna say like I grew up with like the VTech toys and games, so like I get it.
Yep. So it's no offense to them because they helped when I was younger. But what we need to do is we need to continue evolving, continue pushing forward in ways where we're capturing more eyes, especially with all these kids who are playing Fortnite, Minecraft, 2K, Madden. They need to see that everything can still be connected in some way, shape, or form. I have students at DeMatha Catholic High School, and they're going into respiratory therapy. They're now starting to get introduced or being interested in biotechnology, and it's not thanks to me or anybody. It's thanks to their own interest in this stuff, as well as their support from their parents, which is a good thing to see because back then we didn't have as much support, or in some areas, the parents are working 3-4 jobs. So, if you're in West Baltimore and, parents are working 3-4 jobs, they're working these jobs to keep the lights on. And so the child really has to push that, give that motivation for himself. Of course, some parents are still motivating their child on top of that, but that's a lot of work. So with STEM Byte, what if we can just take some of that stress off of the parents and let them know that, hey, your child's in good hands. We will take care of them as well. And, they get that extra support that they need. And so that, we're keeping the kids off the streets, keeping them away from doing anything that's detrimental to their own image and to their own well-being, and we're pushing them to these fields where that need us, right? We need more representation. You talked a little bit about, Black problems that black people have had. Black women, for instance, doctors have always viewed them as people who are able to tolerate pain more. And, what does it take a black doctor? It shouldn't take a black doctor to do that, but that's what, to go against that, but that's what happens. And when we have more representation, we can debunk a lot of these, how can I say, fallacies on how black women or black men are. And black women go through enough already as it is. And what they need more than ever is support. And if we continue supporting black women, black people, other minorities, then that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do to bring everybody up to speed and make everybody feel equal and like they belong in these fields.
Very that. And one, you just gave me like a lot. So congratulations on the game. I think that's like very much needed because kids like games. But it's just like they also need something to really challenge them and make them think. I feel like a lot of times that they go for the first shooter type games. And it's just like, no, it's like you could use a game to train and like be skilled. That's right. What I also like is that you are providing a program for our youth because we saw funding get cut from a lot of schools. We see what's happening with the Department of Education. I don't understand why a former wrestling executive is running it. And we're seeing the repercussions of it. There's a lot of emphasis on, increasing law enforcement and military presence in certain cities that just so happen to be liberal, but there's not enough conversation or push like, okay, maybe provide more spaces for the youth. It does take a village to raise a child, and they need, we're seeing it in the city. There is a cry for like to have more programs, more activities for our young folk because the things are happening in the city because there's no place for them to go.
Yes.
So if you give them something constructive to do, if you sign them up for programs that don't cost a parent an arm and a leg, like I have coworkers that have kids, and the conversations that they have in regards to how much summer camp costs, how much it costs for like after school activities, daycare, like it's murder on their pockets, and they're on a teacher's salary. Yeah. So we need more programs that is like free so that our students can have, just have that awakening, at like a very early age and be introduced to, different fields. Yeah. But it's just like, that conversation isn't really happening like the way it should. It's too much from the United States government and the current administration to just lock everybody up. Yeah. And just like put them in handcuffs. It's like, no, like there is a better way. I work with scholars that are all types of neighborhoods, from like the well-off to that was like born in the gang. And I've seen what happens is when you pull somebody that was born in that lifestyle and have them and expose them to different things, like whether it's photography, whether it's robotics, and it has saved their life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to my former student, Michael. He's in the National Guard. It sucks nowadays in the National Guard. It was fine when he first joined. Mm-hmm. But the way the National Guard is being used right now, it's disgusting. But he saw a way out. And he was like, I talked to him recently. He was like, I found a way to, like, I'm going to get a house. I'm going to do this, do that with all of my, benefits. He's not in those neighborhoods anymore. He's not in constant danger. He made it out. Yeah. So that is a testament to the power of having, programs like ours. Like, it can save lives. And it can fill a lot of these job opportunities and solve a lot of the community problems that we are, currently facing. That's right.
Yeah, and just kind of piggybacking off of that, in terms of politics, it's such a, I like to say it's a gray field, but it's clearly black and white sometimes, and I say that both metaphorically and literally, because when we're looking at how can I say, it's the obliviousness, right, of certain people in the administration, where they feel like there's no oppression. You know, we really have to squint our eyes and say, okay, you know, this is a nation for all. This is what it was told to us as, right? And if it's a nation for all, then we need to make sure all are welcome. And if there is a form of insecurity or form of like a lack of programs in these areas that could really benefit people, because not everybody's going to come out of, you know, these areas and say, oh, I'm going to go get a PhD. I'm going to go get a master. I'm going to go to school, you know, or I'm going to go to trade school. There's a lot of different areas, and I think, you know, by introducing these kids back into these areas, it takes them away from, you know, all these negatives. You know, Black culture is very precious to all of us, and it should be very precious to America. And when America doesn't treat it as such, it really does make us, you know, kind of squint our eyes, because it helps. It helps knowing that we are taken care of, and right now we don't feel like we're taken care of. And because of that, you know, it really puts a real big stress on our community. And that's the last thing our community needs right now.
No, very that. I just hope and pray that we could just survive the next few years. But I think like it's community based. It starts at the community level, and so like we need to do is continue what we're doing with these programs, and you know, just keep pushing forward. So if a school wishes to collaborate with your program, like how does that happen? And what does the curriculum look like for high school scholars?
Right. So if a school does choose to work with us, it's more of a we work with them. For instance, with public schools, even with private schools, we don't want to integrate and mess up their curriculum, because their curriculum is set up by people far above us. What we want to do is we want to add on to that. What can we do to help amplify your curriculum? Whether it's science, a science club, whether it's we're running research programs, whether it's we're doing career day where we're bringing people in from, you know, all companies. We just want to amplify them. And, you know, we've had people, they reach out to us, info@stembyte.org, or they can go to stembyte.org and then just fill in the form, and somebody will get back to them. And we'll set everything up. We work with them. We don't want to impede on their what they already have set up, because we don't need to do that. What we need to do is just add on to it and amplify it, because in most cases they have the correct curriculum but not enough resources. So we want to make sure that they have the resources that they do need.
And what's the like website that a high school coordinator could reach you and find you guys?
So if a high school coordinator just goes to STEMbyte, STEMBYTE.org, and they can go to our Contact Us tab and then fill out that form, say what they need in that form, and we'll get back to them. We can set up a meeting, and we'll actually like go through each individual step and see, okay, hey, what do you want to do here, here, or here, or how can we amplify in these different areas, or what would you like to see from us? So, yeah.
Oh, okay. So would you also like facilitate a club or a program at a high school, or is it just simply like we just give you the resources?
We can definitely facilitate a club or a program at a high school. Absolutely. Well, that's perfectly fine for us. I think that's actually what we would like to do more than anything, because, you know, it's difficult to embed into a school day, but embedding into after school is a lot easier, especially for students. For, you know, one, it helps parents who are working, and two, it helps us to also expand without any distractions. Even when I've worked as a mentor in West Baltimore, it's, you know, we want to make sure that it has some form of structure for the students after school. The structure after school is just as important, a little bit less, maybe a little bit less important as, you know, the school itself, but the structure after school will really help them as well. Whereas students, they need that extra support, and so we need to give them that extra support.
I love that. And like I hope that I could get my high school to work with you guys, because especially this summer, because like I'm taking the summer off I've done the summer program. Take a break. Take a break this year. So it was just like nice to have like somebody else come in and just kind of provide them with a different experience. So like fingers crossed that we could definitely collaborate with you guys, because it sounds like a absolute beautiful program. I love that what you're doing to the community and how that you are giving back. We do need more of us in the STEM field, whether it is in cybersecurity or the biomedical field, because we could change the world.
Yes,
I've seen it all the
absolutely.
time, like young folk, as soon as they get into STEM, they're already solving crisis. There was like one girl that like figured out how to save the oyster population. You know what I mean? There are young folks that are figuring out how to detect cancer
Yes.
at such a young age, and we need to protect them at all costs. You know what I mean? They're you know what I mean? So because as soon as anybody finds, you know, alternative fuel, finds cures to stuff, it's just like people would just be under attack just trying to like fix. So it's just like we just need more of us in the industry just pulling miracles and saving lives. That's what we need right now.
And I think, you know, just kind of piggybacking off of that, by having more people in this industry, we're saving all lives. We're not just saving, you know, one specific race, because everything that we're doing, yes, we know that Black people, we need our support in this area, but we're not just doing this for ourselves. We're not. People who are going into this area, like I have a cousin that developed a patent for I think it was prostate cancer, and it was early detection for it. It's helping people. Everything that we're doing is just helping people. But if Black people are feeling oppressed and we're not able to really get into this field, what can we do? And so by giving us all the area that we need, we can continue to thrive, and then America can continue to thrive. We're not just doing this for ourselves. We're doing this for everybody.
Right.
But we just need our safe space. We need to feel comfortable. We need to feel safe in a world that's very, very much so against Black people. And so we need that space where we are taken care of, because the fruits of our labor, and when we have these resources, it's astronomical what we can do. Just like with any race, if they have enough resources, they're able to really progress forward in 1,001 ways. So we need the resources, we need the funding, we need the impact. We need to continue having that impact, because if we don't, then it's a lost cause. But if we do, then it's, you know, just really helps everybody out.
No, and again, thank you so much for starting your program. Where can people find you on Instagram?
So on Instagram, you can follow us at STEMbyte. So STEMBYTE. We're STEMbyte Initiative Inc. But if you just type in STEMbyte, it looks like a literal B for a byte with a yellow yellow pentagon, or geez, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, pentagon. On the inside.
It's fine. You just have to like double check. Like you have to like go back to high school to just like, okay, what grade are you? Like I get that.
Oh, executive director, right?
Look, it's been a minute. It's fine. It's fine.
So they'll see that. They can follow us on Instagram. They can follow us on LinkedIn. And soon enough, we'll be on X, Twitter, X, whatever we need, wherever else we need to be on. And just reach out to us. And if there's even a question, like we have a mentorship program that we're launching soon as well, for parents who have kids who just need like a little bit of mentorship in any of these areas, reach out to us. We do mentorship programs for free as well.
Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you so much for being on my show, and see how you guys grow from that conversation. I'm going to catch you guys next time.